James, just overall, Arsenal against Manchester City, what was the stage like before? The atmosphere, obviously building up to the game, you being around the media, what was the question marks about the penalty kick that was given, that Saka duly obliged to slot away into the corner? And then after the game, what was the atmosphere like from the fans and also the media?
Yeah, I mean, if we start with the atmosphere, maybe, I think the penalty's not that much of a talking point, I guess, because of the result. I think the strange thing is this has really quelled a lot of the buzz and the energy that was around Arsenal. And obviously, before kickoff, as you can imagine, and I'm sure you could hear if you were watching it on TV, this stadium was rocking. It was one of the best atmospheres I can remember in recent years. You know, it had the feel of those big Champions League nights that Arsenal so miss as a club. And I think the challenge is the nature of the result has taken a lot of air out of that. Of course, it's the third game in a row that they've not won. That Arsenal now off top spot in the Premier League. And look, this wasn't the same as the games where Arsenal would perennially get tonked 3-0 by Man City or 3-1 by Man City, and it would never really be a contest. This could have gone in the other direction, but equally, you know, City got through the gears. They addressed some of the problems in that starting lineup, especially Bernardo at left back. And from there on, it's, you know, they had a level that Arsenal couldn't reach, and Arsenal made these sloppy errors that we also associate with these games. So, I wouldn't say the title race is over, but it's a huge swing in City's favour. Although we have to say, Pep Guardiola said he considers Arsenal to be top of the table because they have a game in hand. That game in hand is against Everton, so we'll see if they win that.
James, just a quick one. Do you feel that this is the best Pep's twinkling worked out with the whole situation of Bernardo Silva playing in that midfield role, then dropping into that left back role? Do you feel that's the best that we've seen this work out? Because we've seen him try it with Reece James. Do you feel that it really worked this game for tactics?
I mean, I have to say, I thought it was utterly disastrous for an hour. But I think the credit has to go for him addressing that, dealing with it, and, you know, getting his team working. What's strange is that he had this blueprint from the FA Cup game where Nathan Ake did a great job one-on-one against Saka, and he followed that, you know, by playing a diminutive attacking midfielder who can't tackle. You know, he's like I've just written my piece. Bernardo Silva is like the embodiment of that line Guardiola said, what is tackles? You know, the guy couldn't defend Bukayo Saka, and I think if they'd carried that on for more than an hour, it may well have cost them the game. And then Silva was so good, so effective in that position. He's made his own, that right wing spot. So I think if you're wondering about, you're looking for these things that might stop City going on the run we assume is coming, it's the fact that, like, at left back, he doesn't seem to have found an answer that he likes. And, you know, if Bernardo Silva's there, people will see what Saka did, and the next team will try that, and they might not be as effective. But yeah, there's one huge problem in this City team, which is who plays at left back.
Yeah, one move that caught my eye in the 11 for Arsenal was Ben White. He started every Premier League game up until tonight, and then Mikel Arteta decides to put in Tomiyasu. What did you make of that move, and how did it impact this game?
Yeah, so I mean, Arteta addressed this in the presser as well, and, you know, obviously everyone sees it through the prism of that horrible error. As Arteta said, he's not seen Tomiyasu make this pass in 7 years. You know, it was a really bad pass and a brilliant finish by De Bruyne. The pass almost spoils how superb the goal was. There's only one way De Bruyne could score that, and he did. And that kind of is the story of Arsenal's game. Arteta also said the reason that Tomiyasu was in the team was sort of the same reason he'd started at left back against Liverpool, which was he's so two-footed, he can defend players going on his outside and his inside. And, like, he had good moments. I think Jack Grealish, we probably need to start talking about Jack Grealish as one of the form players in the Premier League. Wonderful goal as well. But, you know, one phase he'd be attacking Tomiyasu on his left, one on his right. And to an extent, like, City forced those mistakes with good pressure, moving their defensive lines and everything up the pitch. But, you know, Arteta said, he said there were moments when we had them, but then we made these sloppy errors. And Tomiyasu is not a player I expect that from. Zinchenko, the same. But they cost Arsenal a game they could have won in different circumstances. So, yeah, let's not write the title race off yet. But if that's what changes the course of the season, they will be kicking themselves, because it's not like they were outplayed. They just messed up.
Yeah, great point, James, as well. Let's touch upon the fact what you just mentioned, some good performances from Manchester City players. We saw Jack Grealish, obviously. You mentioned, I want you to get stuck into him in a moment. I've got a great start for you. But also Kevin De Bruyne. Maybe you can finish on him and his individual performance, getting a goal and an assist. But let's start with Jack Grealish. 1 goal and no assist in 8 appearances in the Premier League this season when he headed to the World Cup. He has 2 goals and 3 assists in the 9 matches since the World Cup. So statistically, it backs you up right there. He's one of the most informed players right now for Manchester City, certainly in the Premier League, full stop. So what did you notice from his performance? And then maybe finish off as telling us a little bit about how Kevin De Bruyne looked off the ball.
Yeah, I like that. A little bit of swagger from Grealish. I think for one thing, as he said before, he likes playing here. He likes the pitch, he likes the atmosphere. I think the fans give him a bit of grief, and he likes that. But there's a swagger and an authority. I felt like the price tag weighed on him in that first season, which wasn't as bad as people thought, because the job he was doing was sort of sticking wide, and Cancelo was coming into those infield spots. So and you're right on the touchline, you're not going to get loads of goals and maybe score. Get loads of goals and assists, are you? And I think now, with that license to drive infield, he looked really, really good. Rafa says he looks like Almiron. He does. He looks better than Miguel Almiron. Hard to believe. De Bruyne. I mean, you just the quality of his technique. I mean, the goal obviously is the standout moment, but every free kick he touched, every cross he delivered, it was just bang in the right spot. And I think that's what separates them. That's why Arsenal's mistakes were punished, because it's players like De Bruyne, like Grealish, that only need you to make that mistake once. If you make that mistake against Aston Villa on Saturday, you might get away with it. Aaron Ramsdale might bail you out. Gabriel might. But if you make it against Man City, you are dead. And that was really obvious, because I think they made a few critical mistakes and it cost them.
James, don't call out Villa like that again. Anyway, quick one. Do you think that now you're starting to see how important Gabriel Jesus is? Because obviously Nketiah's done well since he's come in, the young lad, but he had some good chances there that you feel that if Gabriel Jesus was fit and playing, that he would have taken those chances.
Yeah.
He's not a good finisher either. I think between them, I was saying it's about 15 expected goals for Arsenal's 2 strikers, 9 actual goals. But you are right, Nigel. They are massively missing Jesus, and it's become apparent in the last few games, because he would drift over to the left and build up with Martinelli and get these great crosses, create as well as get shots up. And then nketiah is a good young player, works really hard for the team and has put so much effort into developing that side of his game. But you guys will all know, you have your strengths and you have your weaknesses, and you can make your weaknesses less apparent. But there's a limit, isn't there? He will never be a Gabriel Jesus, who is so technically confident, so at ease, moving around. And it was really frustrating, because nketiah had 2 good headed chances. It didn't test the keeper once, let alone
hit the target,
score. And they need him back ultra fast. They won't see him till March, so some tough games to get through between now and then without him.
Right before all alerted to the news, and you more than anyone being there at the Emirates, of Thomas Partey not being in this game. That was a massive, massive miss for Arsenal today. What do you make of his importance to this team, and how do they move forward, given that he might be out for the next couple of games?
Yeah, so what I was told is he's certainly out, or he's probably out for the Villa game. I think the one thing you have to say is Jorginho had a good game. There are those moments that show you the problems with Jorginho, that he is too slow, but has this tendency, if he loses the ball, he'll try and win it back, and that can sometimes heighten the problem, because he's way upfield and City are bearing down on goal. But the Partey is sort of Jorginho with a bit of speed, a bit of movement, and it's a huge loss. We see this every time he gets injured, and the worry is, long for the remainder of this season, is he gets injured a lot. That's got to be the real concern, and I think come the summer, they need to find the Partey that plays 38 games a season. His name's Declan Rice, by the way.
Hey, James, before we let you go, I just want to ask you an unusual question, because I'm a little bit strange like that. It is an unusual year for football in general. And we've gone through a World Cup mid-season. And today, probably the biggest game on earth was in the Premier League. But yet the Champions League was still going on. So what was it like for you and the media and the fans in there noticing that there was games going on in the Champions League around? I mean, was it strange?
Well, it's strange for me, because I feel like I'm like betraying the company. I mean, thank God it was like Club Brugge against Benfica, which, all due respect to those 2 teams, it's not, we're not getting we're not giving them the big sell on the production side, are we? Oh, I think it's very strange because, yeah, like you say, it reminds you of all the weirdness. Like this game was postponed because UEFA asked Arsenal to get and Man City to get their European group stage games done because the Queen died. It's really weird. But I mean, equally, it felt like the biggest show in town, the biggest Premier League game. Like it felt like the City Liverpool games. I mean, obviously, I know that the fact that there was Champions League as well maybe dulled the excitement, and it sounds like I missed a really exciting Chelsea Dortmund game, but it did have that sense of the biggest game in town. Everyone was here. You know, the Emirates press box is normally full, but what they normally don't have to do is take two rows of fan seats and turn them into overflow for the rest of the world's media. It was the place to be, but obviously, you know, the place to be is Paramount Plus, I have to say.
Yes, no doubt about it. Golf clap for James Benge, everybody, right there, coming to us live from the Emirates. We appreciate you. Off you go, mate. Enjoy your night. Thank you so much, James. And please, everybody, go out there, follow James, and make sure you get to read his article tonight as well. You can log off, James. On you go.